So another thing we can do is we can format just the headers of our table so that they look different. And in order to do that is, again, the same procedure as formatting all instances of the th tag. So we go to CSS, quick CSS, we select the th tag in this case, we select any formatting options that we would want to apply to that th tag. We click on the OK button, cut the code, paste it, save, and preview. So we're going to come to quick CSS, we select the th tag, and because we want to format all the th tags throughout the website, there's no need to enter anything else in this section here. Some of the things that you may want to do is, for example, if you want your table columns to be equally of equal width, all of the table columns equal width, you can come in here, and depending on how many columns you have, you would enter a percentage to define the width. So for example, if you had 5 columns, you would enter 20%, and that way all of these would be forced to be 20% of the full table width. By default, what happens is your table cells will accommodate for the text, so you may end up with columns that are uneven in terms of width. If you want to make sure that you force that, then count the columns and divide the 100 by that number and enter the percentage here. I'm basically not going to worry about that right now, but you can do it if you wanted to. The one thing that I asked you to have was a color, a background color for your headers. So if you want to, you can come into the second column, the background box, and you can enter a color there. And depending on the background color, I'm actually using the exact same background color as my font color, so I actually have to retrieve my an alternative color for the text. Whoops, not that one. An alternative color for the text, which I'm just going to recycle my background color here for the other pages. So I'm going to choose the same color just to avoid having the header, the background of the header, be the same as the text, which would yield invisible, basically, words. So I'm going to enter that here. This was the first box on the first column was the one we would use for controlling the color of text. And the other thing we wanted to do was to use a border around the cells that make up the headers, because if we remember, we only had an outside box for for the table so far, and using the exact same background border color within style, but you can change this if you wanted to. So once you have set the properties, you can do the width, you did the background color. You could change the font, the style, as long as the weight, make it bold. You could change any of these properties basically. One more thing is the padding. If you do not select the padding, let me show you the example here on my evaluation page. If you notice, the text in your column is very close to what would be the border of the cell, and so there's very little spacing between the contents of each cell, of each nearby cell. If you are not comfortable with that and you would like to have a little bit more space, you can enter a padding here, and what we do is we can use pixels again, and so the bigger the number, the more padding, and you can start with 5 and then see if you like it. If you don't, change the number. So we have done width if you wanted to, we have done a font color if you wanted to, background, border, padding, and any other things that you wanted to change, and you click OK. Notice that again, Quick CSS assumes those colors, so and that's okay. And that's the way they've programmed the website. So you cut this from here, and you go to webs and you open your styles page, and you enter that in a blank line, and you can save and preview your page. Actually, I liked the dashed. Oops, the dashed borders. So I'm gonna save again, and I close this, and I can preview my website. So now I have my only the headings are basically acquire that background color, the borders that I said, which are dashed, and um, the color of the font, instead of being the usual kind of like maroon color that I have here, or burgundy or wine, now they are the same as the background color for the page, so that there's no conflict, and the text is visible. So that's basically it for formatting table headers.